Good morning. Welcome to OptionsTender. This is a panic mode edition today. Things look like they're going to, just fall out of the bottom because of the gap down. Huge gap, by the way. I think the gap is going to close before price goes any lower. As a matter of fact, I think this might be the actual low. And I'm going to do something a little bit different for you. I usually just do this for the individual members, but we're going to go through all of the big tech names. I'm going to show you the setup that is occurring here and why we added on to our calls today. Now, make sure you stick around. If you're new here, go down to that bottom right-hand corner, hit that OptionsTender logo, and subscribe. And if you want to get this intraday, we're doing this about 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to get these intraday so you can be updated when the market gives us new information, I want to get that information to you out as soon as possible. To support the channel, consider becoming a YouTube member for 99 cents. All right, let's jump into it, you guys. We'll go through a lot of things. So mostly on the daily, I might check out the 65 for the market for the S&P, and that's it. But okay, so on the daily time frame, we have SPX, and what's happening right now? Okay, we're past this support here, and we're down to the next support low. So I don't have it drawn in here, but let's go ahead and put one in. Okay, so that's one clue. The other, this is not our actual setup. Let's draw this in, and you'll see there's a whole point to this. I love SPX. It just a real sharp charts. And you could have this to the bottom here or the bottom of this one. Doesn't really matter. The whole point is this a bullish falling wedge. We're at the bottom of that wedge. We're into support. We'll go through these real quick. The moving averages, we know that we came into the 8 EMA, once again rejected in the 20 moving average. So that's been the thing over and over. So yeah, should have hedged. I did not. So we're adding on to our calls. And then, when we get up there again, you can do the same thing, but I probably will work this the same way. The setup is perfect. This is a perfect setup. McClellan oscillator, positive divergence again. Okay, that's all that's happening. Breadth is getting stronger while price is going lower. We're going to get a snapback. Here's our OptionsTender setup. It will speak for itself. MACD, positive divergence. We need to see this cross back over. I would like to see a doji candle today. We'll see where this closes. RSI. Now, it broke that trend, and it did the same thing over here. Did the same exact thing. I was looking at a little positive divergence right there when it happened, and then it broke down from it, but just formed a higher low again. Same thing. Higher low, positive divergence. Slow Stoke, same thing. Still with the bullish crossover, looking good. This is going to oscillate to the upper end. DMARC, nothing really to show here. Maybe it takes more time and we get a 913 buy signal, perhaps. Awesome oscillator. Nothing's changed. Positive divergence. I know the news is nasty and just a huge gap. Exhaustion gap, in my opinion. Let's go over to SPY. Now we have this divergence here. That's all this is. It's not like a trend line or anything that should hold price, but this divergence Actually, I can just stretch from low to low there. So here's the money flow. Again, really good. We talked about this yesterday. Really good at catching turns. And same thing, just pretty. It's catching this turn. Unfortunately, things are happening with catalysts. Lower low, higher low. That's gonna end soon, if not today. Yes, another buy signal. Same thing, oversold outside the Bollinger Band. So we'll look at time and price. Down on April 3rd, that turned out to be a low. Well, would you look at that? That's the thing. You don't know where price is going to be, but when it's there, when you get into a cluster, that's where you look for your setup. It's a buy setup, bullish falling wedge. All this is, the wave one is still in. I know it looks really weird. It's hard to explain. This does not happen often, you guys. This is not a super popular pattern. It's not something that you're going to see again in this trend. Okay, so we're still in just wave one. We're looking for wave two to complete, and it's going to take longer at this point. So I don't know how long wave two is going to take, but maybe into some of these clusters, maybe at the beginning of May. Not sure yet. We'll see how fast it decides to go. And there's two ways that this can be looked at. We're looking for a 5-wave move, right? So at this point, it can be just a rip for a 5-wave pattern. But if very similar to, I want to say 2018, I think it made a new high in SPY, but if you're looking at SMH, it made a lower high. Either way, this could be a 5-wave ending diagonal. So we could form a wedge that takes much more time. I just want to keep that, just in case it doesn't look like it's really going anywhere. We want to keep that in the back of our mind. But the more common thing would just have a 5-wave move up, an impulse wave. Okay, so that's your A. And your B wave here, making a low, that's just an A, B, C. It's as simple as that. So, could this continue lower? Well, technically we can fill out, and I'll change this daily. Here's SPY. All right, so technically, could we fill out this wedge a little bit more? Well, here's what you'd be looking at, and these clearly didn't work. So here's what you'd be looking at. If price wants to go lower, you'll get a nice big bounce, and this wave is done. So the B wave, we have an A, B, C. This could be done. I think it is. We're into support. You got a support right here. I don't know where this is going, but it's there. So we're back above that. And then if this wanted to extend as maybe an ending diagonal, this is a 5-wave move. This could be a 1. You could get a 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's possible. As a matter of fact, somebody, sorry, I forgot who it was, but somebody had posted this in the technical analysis portion. Thank you for that. That this could be a 5-wave move down here. So far, ABC, I believe is complete. You can only make so many divergences before you're going to get your reversal. And so this is, I think, the more the common move that would happen here. So I'm going to leave this up, though, because we're still going to have that same bearish rising wedge. We're still going to form one. And like I said, it could be that ending diagonal type that stretches out further. But either way, we're going to get one. and we'll look for the reversal and see how much time this takes for that. Okay, now, as for this doesn't change. My pattern has not changed. It's not going to. It's still the same roadmap. I'm going to post that video up above. Yeah, we got this expanded flat. All right, still the expanded flat pattern. It actually just looks more defined now. So check that video out up top to see where this market is probably going. Okay, the VIX. Look at the VIX, our channel. Lo and behold, we've reached the top of the channel once again. Okay, so again, this is likely to hit the bottom of the channel here. It did not. It formed a wedge and broke out to hit the channel again, making a lower high, but a lower low in SPY. That's a divergence in itself. And this, I think, will play out to the lower end. So good fake out here. If it makes a higher low, then maybe the market had ripped higher and faster than we thought. But if the market's going to make it up to the retracement levels, we should see the VIX probably take a nosedive. All right, here's our Mag 7. All right, we started charting this. Here's our wedge. Here's our bullish falling wedge. Apple did the same exact thing that, and we can leave this in there. I'll just expand it for that, but it did the same exact thing that IWM and SMH did. We're looking at a 3-wave move and just scratching our head and saying, wow, is this just a bullish move or is this a 1-2-1-2? Well, that answers our question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave leading diagonal, and we'll look for a retracement at this point. So that's why we do these videos often. When the market tells us something, we react to it. There's our wedge there. There's our diagonal. It's a pretty setup. Amazon. Amazon, the same wedge here. We can draw it more appropriate. Bullish falling wedge. Into support. It's a nice support zone there. Right there, if you look at the line that goes all the way across with the crosshair, we're at support already. Tesla, it just holding out nice and strong with the market. Okay, broke out of the channel and very volatile. Broke into it here and just holding on tight. I think Tesla is going to lead us the rest of the way up. This is a ABC for a larger degree A. We had B is in. I think we have a 1-2, 1-2. I think we're nesting here. I think Tesla goes higher. Close that gap. Meta. All right, again. Same wedge. Almost a channel, but still considered a wedge here. We're looking probably a ramp into, that reminds me, the earnings is coming up. We'll probably get a ramp up in there. Up into tech earnings, while the banks obviously are first. Here's Nvidia, back at the lows of the channel. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And already made that 5-wave move, but this one clearly was a, now that you can see this, was a 1, 2, 3. We had the wave 4 was on yesterday, Monday, and Tuesday. And then we had the drop here for wave 5. So you see that 5-wave move is completed. Elliot Wave's always in hindsight. You know, you're guessing and guessing until the pattern's complete, and you're like, wow, okay. But you match that with your indicators, and that's the reason why you use Elliot Wave. You can see how the structure is going. And bullish falling wedge here at Google. Hope you guys can see exactly what's going on. You know, during this panic, yeah, you're getting these big moves down. Microsoft made a higher low. Look at that. You're getting these big moves down, but this is not the drop. This is not the actual panic. We'll show you that when it comes. But for now, we're going to get our bounce. Bullish falling wedge. Beautiful look. There's the cues. Gorgeous. The targets are the same. Same targets. Nothing has changed. SMH. Bullish falling wedge. IWM. Now the channel, the reason why I'm keeping that channel up top there is because we can keep our resistance right where it needs to be. So this threatened to break down there. So you could line this up and probably see it gain right above there. I'll just leave it right there. DIA just finally made a new low. I still think it looks like an ABC, but either way, made a new low and positive divergence at that. Every single chart I showed you has positive divergence. BITO has a higher low. MJ continues its descent. Another divergent low. This thing's gonna rip when it finds a bottom. Okay, here's another trade we're in. Holding up nicely. It's a beautiful look. So getting a higher low here. I think micro strategy rips next week. Already broke out and back tested. Okay, now here's another thing. I think we're gonna start to see our bounce to happen because of the VIX. It's our 30% move. It's likely that we'll get our bounce tomorrow into Free Friday, and then we get a follow through on Monday. But we have to keep in mind that the VIX, it's just indicating that it's likely for the bounce or bottom to come in a day or two away. I think that will be tomorrow. It could be Powell with the being the catalyst. Could be concessions with tariffs. So going into the weekend, I think on the 5th, which would be Saturday, one of the tariffs kick in. They're talking about, so maybe there's concessions before that actually kicks in, something like that. I want to show you bonds. Okay, we're getting a negative divergence here in bonds. And this might be just a 1-2 setup, but it's going to give us some relief. I'd rather use rates. I have this diagrammed here. Nice chart. So we're looking at rates here. Positive divergence here and here. I think I'm looking at, let me draw this in on the daily. There we go. So we're seeing this positive divergence here. A lower low on price, a higher low on momentum and RSI and slow Stokes. So I don't think this is, we're looking for new highs or anything like that, but this would give us a, I'm using the body of the candle there. And so this is a channel now. So we're hitting the bottom of the channel. We'll probably get to the top of the channel here and maybe continue. If this does break back out and, I don't know, for some reason make new highs, I think this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe it does break out and get a lower high. That's possible too. But with the rise in rates, the whole point is, I'm not trading this. The whole point is, if we get a relief rally in rates, we're going to get a bounce in the market too. So rates are directly correlated with the market at this point. All right, and that's what we talked about a long time ago, is we're really watching tech with this, because tech has so much control over the market, the tail that wags the dog. And so tech has taken a big beating, and which allows the rest of the market to sell. But we should get some relief when this starts to bounce. All right, so let's go down to the 65 and see if we can learn anything else. All right, so here's our wedge bottom, and then I have a trend line here that's going with this B wave. I had a channel, but it was skewed a little bit. It's more like a expanding spinning wedge or so. But we're at the bottom again. I didn't draw this in. This just happens to be there. So that was support previously. It's a support zone where we broke out from. And see a nice big reversal candle here. I do think that we're at the bottom of the expected move. So don't expect, a 30-point run going into tomorrow. If anything, we'll probably see, if we are bullish enough, around maybe up to 556. So we'll keep that in mind. Now, again, on the 65, you can see that this is a nice 5-wave move. We were counting it as a 3-wave, where this was possibly a B, and you can't really see a whole lot in this. So we ended up getting the 5-wave move here. And the reason why this is so devastating, and what it was trying to signal to us, if we knew that was a 5-wave, then you get your 3-wave move up and another 5-wave impulse. That's a zigzag. So you typically see that in a 1 into a wave 2, starting off a trend, where you get this nice big snapback, and it gets everybody scared and sweating that a move is just starting to continue lower. Again, the same thing with your first impulse move down, and then you get this sharp zigzag. Everybody thinks you're going to new highs, and they're loading up into calls or buying stock, and the same thing, just reverse here. So this is just your zigzag B wave into support, and now we have to start over and build some positive market structure to head to the upside. And I think that'll form a nice wedge here. I don't know what the first impulse will look like. Maybe we nest a 1-2-1-2, going into early next week, and then we start to get some follow through. We'll have to wait to see what price gives us for more information. But I think this seems apparent now, what it wanted to do. And I believe the worst is behind us with all this tariff talk, and that you should start seeing some relief from countries with concessions and things like that. And he also mentioned taxes. So I don't know if we'll start hearing more about taxes in a process of going, but that could be a catalyst as well. Yeah, so that's what we got. Here's what it looks like. And maybe that goes all the way out to May, this move. If it's a more shallow wave, maybe that's FOMC that it goes to. But we're going to start, now that it's on the screen, we're going to start paying attention to where price is when we see the FOMC that we're getting into it. So let's go to this board. And so this is what I'm looking at right now. We can take that out. That was the first clue that this wasn't a wave 4. Okay, so that is not necessary anymore. And I believe our move is done. Here's that channel that I drew, and we posted it in the Discord. And that's the zigzag that went to the channel bottom and it held up well. It looked like it was about to break down from it, so it did have a wick. But yeah, it fits nicely. And I'll leave that there because we have a nice downtrend line there. And we'll see when we get above this will be the breakout. And I suspect that the 8 EMA will be at that point somewhere with the breakout. So I might get a pause. Maybe we get a higher low at that point and start building some market structure there. And looks like this is still going to be an important area. The 550, that's the old 62% retracement. And so again, if this fails to make another low, then I think we're just looking at this channel being a B wave, but it can only go so far before it really starts to look like something else. And but we'll look for and take profit into our next move up here, maybe into the top of the channel before we make a higher low into the 550. So once we get above 550 will play another role in keeping support for us to the upside. And as long as this still remains a B wave, a nice 3-wave move, then the targets remain the same. If we suspect that this ends up being something else for whatever reason, that the count is wrong and this is the actual 1-2, it gets really messy. But then perhaps we have to move our or create another Fibonacci to the lows here and suspect that we will get a lower high, not as deep as we had thought there. But so far, it's the same thing. 3-wave move down for a B, 5-wave move up for a C. All right, you guys, thanks for watching here at OptionsTender. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow.